Okay, well, I was just asked to read my book that the Lord, actually, it's the Lord's book. It's not my book. He dictated it to me, and so the only part that I'm going to read that is mine is the poem at the end. And so I'm just saying to everybody, if you'd like to have a copy of the book, if you think it's something that you would be interested in purchasing, it's I Am The Thorn by Phyllis Roberts. And if you just go online, it's in Google, it's Amazon, wherever you want to find it, you can find it. And you can buy it in hardback, you can buy it in an ebook, or you can buy it in softback. Okay? So here we go. And this is the story because I want to share it because it's not mine to hold on to. It's not mine to keep hoarded. It's God's. Okay, so there's a picture of a little thorn that's in a thorny area. And that's the last time I'm going to tell you about the picture, but just try and visualize a thorn that has all over him the word curse. This is the story of my life, as dictated to me by God. Those who saw me in the thorn patch avoided me. I was spit upon as if I was a disturbance to their life. Why was I so hated? Is it a payment for a pain that my very existence in this world caused somebody? Even the animals stayed away from me. The birds made no nest in my branches. Only webs from spiders, which stung others, lived with me. That only made me seem worse, if that was at all possible. There was a man they called a prophet who was traveling down my road. He looked at me, and his look seemed so to reach out to me. I felt something that I had never felt before. I think it's love. I longed to touch him and feel his love deeply. Then he smiled at me and did something odd. He talked to someone who wasn't even there. The people said it was called a prayer. I couldn't understand, but I felt something peaceful inside. This peace seemed to make me feel better and lifted my focus. Then I no longer questioned my life, and I felt peace inside my own home. I began to see the beauty in the web that the spider spun on my branch, how beautiful it was in the morning with the dew sitting on its intricate design. I began to see the sun that allowed me to grow strong. So I drank in its power and grew strong and powerful. If my purpose was to grow strong, I would have to wait to see my use when my time came. I learned to be. One day a soldier came to my branch. I looked right into his face and saw his anger. It frightened me. As he contorted with anger, he pulled on my branch. Then he cut the branch that I was a part of, and I felt the death of my existence. My life began to drain away, and darkness fell on me. All at once, the darkness became light, and I felt something amazing. I felt something that I had never felt before. It was the touch of someone's skin. It was the wetness of blood. It was new life. I had somehow been placed on the prophet's head. I was pushed deeply into his skin. My wish and my curse became my blessing. My Creator heard my wish. Who was this prophet who carried life inside of him? Who was this prophet who came, who could resurrect me from my death? How could I have been given such a gift, yet I maimed and I hurt him? He gave me the only love I had ever felt. Will I again be called a curse? I then felt like I was put on the earth only to fulfill this purpose. So who was I to question it? They hung him high on a dead tree. From my new vantage point, I saw things I had never seen before. I saw many people and they too appeared as thorns to me. I saw things differently from that place, and I felt love for them because I was in him. Then something amazing happened. Darkness fell on the earth, and the sun darkened, and the earth moved. Men were cursing him, men who were cursing him ran in fear and hid. We both hung there for a long time. Then he said, "It is finished." All creation and all existence cried because of his pain. Then I realized he was my creator. All creation watched and feared his death. How can we exist any longer now without him? He is our life. Then they took him down from that dead tree they hung him on. The men who took him down gently removed me from his forehead. They laid my branch down, and I fell off the dead branch that pierced his head. When they removed me from him, I felt life leaving me again. Darkness once again fell on me. I don't know how long I was on the ground, but all of a sudden I saw light again. I saw a light. I was at the base of the place where they hung him on the dead tree. But I had changed. I had become a fragrant, flowering bush. They called me the Rose of Sharon. Everything about me had changed. I no longer saw things through a thorn's existence, but through an existence of beauty. I now saw through my Creator's eyes. I now understand that life that pulses through me is part of him. Inside of me, I carried the secret. I have to tell you now. He is as much alive today as I am. I live. His life exists in me, inside of me, and inside of you too. I no longer fear dying. I await all of my Creator's changes for me. I know that no one exists without a purpose. We're put here by him, even when we feel like a curse. No one exists without him. His name is Jesus. Jesus can change you. His love changed me. And now, friends, this is the part that I had to write. I am a little thorn. I'm watching from my darkened home. I am a curse unto the world. I can't hide, run, or roam. I didn't think I had a use. I was mad to be alive. I heard a prophet pass my home when the light seemed to arrive. What manner is this man whose smile is so deep and pure? This man who changed my atmosphere and made me feel secure. As I survey my surroundings that once seemed so inspired, I realize it is beautiful, and to live is my desire. I see the spider spin his web and wonder how it's done. I see the light form on its strings when dewdrops hit the sun. How different colors hit the ground and give off their gentle light. And I am amazed at how it comes from high above my sight. Then one amazing happening, which seemed to be so wrong, happened on a special day when my life became so strong. An evil soldier plucked my bow and my life drained out of me. He placed me on the prophet's head and I became alive and free. He hung him on a tree just like the fruit that hangs to feed. And from that vantage point I knew I'd soon become a seed. His blood was what I caused him, yet his blood had made me free. And from that high and lofty place, new faces I did see. They seemed to appear so vicious, their words pierced him deep inside. I knew it, for my body had pierced inside his head, and I just had to cry. And all at once, something happened. It became dark again. I realized that we both had died. I thought my end was hard and grim. I fell onto the ground. His blood watered my exterior. Then people stepped and drove me into the dirt and the interior. It wasn't long that things began to strangely happen inside of me, and I felt myself expanding and broke through the rocky ground to see. There was a transformation of a thorn with many cares. I became a flowering bush. My beauty brought me loving stares. The Rose of Sharon was the name that mighty men called me, and part of the Savior Jesus flowed deep inside of me to see. A beauty to those passing, a smile would invade their face, and happily I gave them gifts of flowers to embrace. For I know now my purpose, and I know now my call. Jesus wasn't a prophet, but my Savior, and loved me through it all. This was my story. I am the thorn. Everyone who sees me thinks I'm a curse.
Oh my goodness
Oh my gosh.
gracious. That is amazing.
So
Absolutely
amazing, Phyllis.
I feel
Love
like
you.
a little kid, you know, just sitting in a circle looking up at you.
I know. It's story time.
I know, right?
It is.
Thank
It was
you.
great. Thank you for blessing us.
You're welcome, and this is yours.
Oh, thank you.
And I will write something in it